This is NDTV, and you're watching Classics.
For over 400 million years, they have ruled the world's waters, from freshwater bodies to the deep ocean. And the modern shark as we know them date back to over 100 million years. They have survived evolution, natural selections and natural disasters that sent many species into extinction to become the world's greatest predators. And yet today, in less than 100 years, most shark populations have crashed by over 80% because of us and our irrational fear and hatred for the species.
If sharks were furry and cuddly and they had wet noses and big brown eyes, we would be so passionate about protecting them. I mean, let's face it, when it comes to conservation of animals, we really do go for the cute and cuddly, not so much for the slippery, the scaly and the slimy. And with sharks, it's even more pronounced. There seems to be this fear and terror. I mean, one shark attack and the media goes into a frenzy, the public goes into a frenzy, there's an outcry, there's terror, there's exaggeration, there's drama. We seem to forget that more people are killed by people every year. I mean, the truth of the matter is, we are terrified of an animal that kills one person, that killed one person in the whole of the world in the last year, when we've killed 100 million sharks, just slaughtered them. I mean, what will a group of sharks be saying about us?
While most of the population at large do not have too much sympathy for the shark, there is a small percentage of people who not only love them and care, but know that shark survival is crucial to the survival of the biodiversity of the ocean. And one such person is Leslie Rochard, a shark warrior.
Initially, when I first started diving, I was petrified of sharks for the same reasons most people are. I lacked knowledge. And I was so afraid of them that my dive buddies nicknamed me Sharkbait, because I was too scared to get in the water first, and I was definitely not getting out the water last, under the belief that sharks would bite me when I'm on the surface. However, having now had the experiences that I have had, and I'm incredibly privileged to have had them, obviously my perception has changed. And that's what made me realize if I could change the way I see things, so can other people.
Sharks are the ocean's apex predators because of their superior sense of smell, sight, hearing, and speed. Some shark species are able to detect as little as 1 part per million of blood in seawater. So any hurt or dying fish is immediately detected. However, they have no real interest in human blood. Experiments have been conducted to prove this. Human blood in water does not attract the sharks at all, but even a drop of blood from any of their recognized prey species brings them in. If sharks were to only eat humans as prey, they would die out very fast, as we don't have the right kind of nutrition to sustain them. They are also streamlined, and their skin is almost like sandpaper in texture, made up of dermal dentricles, or tiny teeth-like scales. This improves their hydrodynamics, enabling them to cut through the water. They have strong lateral lines that run along the side of their body to sense movement in the water and employ special sensory pores on their heads to detect electrical fields created by prey in the ocean. The shark has the greatest electricity sensitivity known in all animals. This sense is used to find prey hidden in sand by detecting the electrical fields inadvertently produced by all fish. The oceanic currents moving in the magnetic field of the Earth also generate electrical fields that can be used by the sharks for orientation and navigation. One shark actually swam all the way from South Africa to Australia and back. Their sense of sight is so strong that some species like the great white can hunt by starlight, and in all species their eyes are adapted to see well in the low light of the ocean. They do not have eyelids, and many of them have a nictitating membrane or a tissue-like cover over their eyes to protect them while they're hunting or while being attacked.
I'm told that to get a clear picture about shark conservation here in South Africa, I should meet Leslie Rochard. I got interested in sharks and the conservation of sharks about 6-7 years ago when I happened to witness the slaughter of whale sharks off the western shores of India. The public outcry that was generated then helped the whale shark get onto the endangered species list, and sharks in India were put onto the protected species list, and it became illegal to hunt or to fish for them and kill them. So that made me curious about what the status of sharks is here in South Africa. So to find out more, I'm going to head down to the Shark Centre in Cork Bay, the centre that Leslie runs.
I became a freelance travel journalist and underwater photographer while I was in the corporate industry for a bit of sanity. And I would return to the same places sometimes, and I noticed the degradation of those reefs, which really perturbed me a lot. And I felt that I needed to do more than I was doing, than just write about the beauty of these places and encourage people to go to them. I needed to tell the people the truth of what was happening.
Leslie risks her life by exposing just how the fishing industry targeted sharks and the absolutely brutal and inhuman way in which they are killed.
The commercial fishing industry is one of the most wasteful industries in the world. And unless we fundamentally change the way we manage commercial fisheries, this century will be the last century there is wild fish in the sea.